Music videos. At the end of the day, they're a vehicle to sell your albums and songs. But this shouldn't hinder or compromise the artistic quality of the medium. You're adding another element to an artistic expression of music. You're adding the visual, and it should complement the theme or narrative of the song or provide some further depth. Far too often, especially in such a rich and complex styles of progressive rock and metal, we're faced with the same videos over and over and over again. Now, when I first sought out to do this kind of a video, I was hoping to make just one video on how progressive rock videos have let me down in the past decade and left me with wanting more. I found that there are three types of videos that bands typically put out these days, and I want to talk a little bit more in depth of each kind of video and explore how these videos work and sometimes don't work at all. So for this video, I'm going to talk about the lyric video, or as some people have also called it, the kinetic typography video. These guys have become more and more popular in promoting albums before their release. As with all music videos, the main point of making any music video is to sell the albums. They're usually released sometime before the release date of an album to get people excited for the actual launch of the album. And these videos are the most simple out of the three, being either just simple graphics from the artwork, again to drive up excitement for the album itself, as well as to introduce the audience to many themes on the album. Finally, and the most important part of the video, it has the lyrics to the song. These grew out of text-based videos, or as I said before, kinetic typography, where text appears on the screen and takes a life of its own, usually providing some kind of different characteristics to bring life into what is being spoken. And these are generally fan-based videos. The one that I personally love came out of Pulp Fiction, and another one for a particular speech from V for Vendetta. Now these videos are quite entertaining and straight to the point. This is exactly why a lot of corporations started tapping into this for commercials. And it wasn't very long before fans decided to make this for music videos as well. And the more I watched these, the more I loved how the text was bringing new life into the song. It was bringing new meaning into it. There's one from Coldplay that was really interesting. Now these were all made by fans, not from record companies or record labels or even the bands themselves. So it wasn't long before they decided we can use this to help promote our albums, and it's very easy to use and make. As with any artistic enterprise, it's the limitations placed on this form that make it particularly interesting and why I love watching these videos. With a medium as visual as a lyric video, having so little to work with can create some really beautiful works. But before we go into this, let's examine how there's some shortfalls with this. A particularly bad example comes from Meshuggah's latest album release of Born in Dissonance video, which is just the album cover of the album with a scrolling text along the screen. All this does is give us the song on YouTube with the lyrics, and there's nothing really to utilize the medium of the video. It's very big wasted space. Now the band did try to attempt something new with a 360 video along their song of Nostrum, but this still has the same problems of dissonance in being a single graphic with the words appearing on the screen, and with the 360 it was kind of cumbersome to try to find where the lyrics were actually placed. It was a good idea, but they still didn't utilize the medium very well. I don't mean to pick on Meshuggah entirely, because a lot of bands fall into the same trap. Even a creative genius such as Devin Townsend has fallen into this trap with his song from Z2, Rejoice. This is just a stock image of the Sky Blue album, with a bit of graphic animations to make the clouds move and some birds come in, and the lyrics appearing on the screen. Now granted, this is much better video than the Meshuggah's video, but it could have been so much better organized and far better executed. Now I know what you're thinking. These videos are just teasers, and the music is really the main point. Who cares what's on the screen at all? And for that I say that is true, but the main point of this type of video is to give you an audio sample of what is to be found on the album. This is by no means an excuse to compromise the medium at hand. Never settle for good enough if that's just the expectation. You should be able to find a creative way to show your song through a lyric video. For an example of this, using the same techniques that we saw with the Devin Townsend project, we look at the Pineapple Thief promoting their single No Man's Land from their latest album. In a very simple fashion, with just still images that look as though they were taken from a 40s photo album, their lyrics are overlaid on top of it. It introduces us to the concept of the album as well as promotes the song. The only drawback that I have to this particular style is that the text goes by much too fast and is harder to read. For the most part, the text on the screen was not all that interesting as well. It was the same typeface, and there's no real interplay between the text and the video. Another example of this is The Endless Knot from Haken's latest video. Here's a 1 meg graphic that is being reused in different visual perspectives, kind of circling around. It's much more visually interesting, and the text on it is more promoting the feeling that's being found on it. It's much more animated than any of the videos we've seen so far, and matches very well the tone of the song. The text itself is unfortunately not that interesting, but at least it keeps the pace going, and it is an interesting video. Now we're looking at some really good examples that I have found. One that I particularly enjoy is Build Me Up, Break Me Down from Dream Theater's Dramatic Turn of Events. It uses those visuals from the album cover and inserts, and it interplays it very well with the creative text locations. It's very animated and eye-catching. We never seem bored with any of the graphics, and it's always intriguing. The use of text as the animations is very eye-catching, and it's never boring. The lyric video was what sold me to this album. It got us interested in the video and the song. The video was simple, and yet it was fun to watch and got us interested.
Everybody shut up!
But really the masterpiece throughout this entire thing is Weird Al's Word Crimes. This one used the medium to its full extent, and being a play on words with word crimes, it was perfect interplaying it with the dictionary, and the text and fonts are always changing and perfectly set for where it needs to be. So what makes those great kinetic typography or lyric videos so good, and those bad ones not so good? The main reason, as with any, is the missed opportunity to do something creative or exciting. Those lyric videos that just show plain graphics with the words coming on screen a la a karaoke style, it just does one thing and one thing only. It's an advertisement for the album. If we wanted to, we can find these songs in other means, so there's no reason that a record company or a band should do this. Think of it this way. A bad lyric video, those with just plain text and graphics and lyrics, only capture the attention of those who already are going to buy the album. So the main point of this particular video is already lost. And people will see through this style and type of video for what it is, a very poor album advertisement. But a good lyric video, those that try different things, will cast a much wider net, snaring those people who would normally not be all that interested in this band or song. And in that, attracting more opportunities for people to buy your album. Which brings me back to that main point. Don't sacrifice a creative opportunity just because it's easy. You'll get more views with a more interesting lyric video and turn off many more with a bad one. The song's quality should sell itself, this is true, but the video that corresponds with it will entice many more people to it. So that's about it for this particular video. Stay tuned for my 2 new installments where I take a look at bands that just promote themselves with a video, and finally those that take a complete creative approach when making these videos. Thank you guys, as always, so much for watching. This one was a very interesting and fun video to make. Stay tuned for those next ones, and until next time, notes out!